My two-car garage turned wood shop has made me hundreds of thousands by making small items like this. But let's discuss how to market, go over router tips, and how I run a small wood shop from home. Oh, and you remember last week's project? Yeah. Well, in typical fashion, woodworkers chimed in with their negativity, but they can kiss my you-know-what. And today's project, we're going to go over sales and marketing and a whole bunch of other great tips. So let's get busy. But first, let's remove the protective paper from the template. Oh, and here's the space we're going to make today's project in. You see, having a small space doesn't mean you can't make awesome stuff. But it does mean you might have to get more creative and make smalls. After all, they're more lucrative, the costs are low, and you can batch them out easily. And if you're looking to batch out small items, I highly recommend using templates. Now you can make your own, or you could purchase these on my website. I create them as a side hustle. Will I get rich? Probably not. Will I sell a few? I hope. But the whole motto is to help makers make. Because when I got into woodworking, there was no resources available for me. There was no DIY plans, there were no templates, there was no one talking tips or strategy, and I had to learn this the hard way. Which is okay. It taught me a lot of valuable lessons, but it did create a little bit of a roller coaster ride full of ups and downs in my life. And you see what I'm doing here? I'm using a jigsaw to remove the excess material. You see, I traced it onto the plywood, and then I cut it out. I left about 1/8 of an inch, and if you can get less than that, that's even better. But 1/8 of an inch keeps me efficient and keeps me moving quickly. Now I'm needing to work on this base plate, and it looks like I made a little mistake. But who's judging? Let's continue going. And you could use solid wood or plywood. I'm using this plywood because it's a leftover from a previous project. You know, being resourceful. And getting on to some router tips, this green line, imagine this line going across the table. You want to stay on one side of it, not cross the line like this. That will cause kickback. That'll be a no-no. But let's use some double-sided tape and adhere this template. Now going through all the different double-sided tape out there, I've come to realize they're not equal. And this one is really amazing. This is called X-Fasten, and I'll have a link in my description box. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You want to talk numbers. You want to know where can we sell our small items. So let's set up my router table and dive into it, and I'll tell you what I do. Oh yeah, and here's the flush trim bit we're going to use. The wheel bearing rides along the template while the cutter head removes the material. And it's 1/4 inch in size. The first step to building your brand is creating a website. If you don't already have one, make that your first priority. After you do that, make sure you load it down with the products that you make. And by the way, it doesn't hurt if you make a little bit of footage for your social media accounts as well, just to show the customers what your product is all about, what they're going to get. Build the value in the piece. Next is you're going to want to Google shows, venues that are in your local area. And if you have to drive a little bit outside to get to them, that's fine too. But you're going to rent a 10 by 10 space and set up a booth with all your products. But don't do just any venue. In other words, if you see an arts and craft venue, you're not going to want to participate in that. You need to go where people are actually spending money. Now, people love food festivals. They love wine and food festivals. They love things like that. Those places, they're actually coming away with something. I mean, think about a whole bunch of charcuterie boards and you're at a wine and food festival. The item is small, the price tag is small, and if it has good value, they're going to pull the trigger on buying it. Depending on where you live, you may or may not notice a bunch of interior design stores. Well, they love to carry products that they don't actually purchase, meaning they'll let you put your products in their store and you guys will split the commission. Say you're selling a cutting board for $100. They'll split the profits with you. So you guys just have to negotiate and come up with the deal that you want. But it's also great brand building to do this because it's in a visual storefront that you can always lead your customers to if you choose. Also, I would like to note that we're coming into the holiday season, which is prime shopping time. And it's great for small businesses and makers like you. So start making your products now because the season's going to begin mid-October and end mid-January. And you're going to be able to crush sales this year if you get to stocking up your product now. The last thing you want to do is to go to a venue, say it's a wine festival, and you run out of products after you sell there. It's a real bummer. I've been there and I've done it. But like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of different sales strategies and a lot of different places you're going to have to market your products to. And I want to get into them, but this video is running out of time. And while I set up this decor, I want you to take a look at it and let me know what you think. The 2 trees in the middle are plywood and I painted the edges. I think it came out awesome. That's the first time I did that, but I'm digging the look. It looks cleaner. And the rest of the products there are solid wood. But moving on with the next video, I want to get into hashtags and Amazon and a few other strategies that I usually implement, and they work out very well for me. And I know they will for you too.